a speeding ticket with 22,000 pennies.
I felt good to kind of stick it to the man.
Angry because he got a ticket for going 39 in a 30-mile-per-hour zone.
We pay with pennies to clog the system, but I wanted to make a point.
Brett got the 22,000 pennies from 2 local banks. He broke up the rolls of pennies with a hammer, then lugged the heavy buckets inside, where he dumped them right on the counter in front of the shocked clerk. Some folks think what Brett did was way out of line. All you did was punish the poor clerk who would have to count all that. Brett got this phone message from the clerk's office.
You actually have change coming back to you. It's calling to see when you wanted to pick up your change.
Today we're going to cover the highly requested murder case, the Hello Kitty case. So this case took place in Hong Kong in 1999. A little background on the victim. Fan Men-yi was abandoned as a child, resulting in her being raised in an orphanage. When she turned 15, she was told by her orphanage that she had to leave due to their age restriction. With nowhere and no one to turn to, Fan became homeless and addicted to drugs. She was forced into prostitution until the age of 21 when she began working at a brothel. Fan eventually married one of her clients, a fellow drug addict, and in 1998 she gave birth to their son. No surprise, Fan's husband was abusive and the two could be heard fighting at all hours of the night. To secure a better life for herself and her son, Fan took a job as a hostess at a nightclub in the red light district. Go to part 2!
If I'm in a scary situation, something scares me, or somebody jumps out, or there's a loud noise, I'm going to pull my upper eyelids back.
Look like crazy eyes.
Yeah. Okay, but that matches. But we don't ever in fear. The only time we will pull our upper eyelids back and hold them is roller coaster, haunted house, terror.
Loud noise.
Right.
Yeah.
We never hold our upper eyelids pulled way back, except when we're nuts.
When you're a psychopath.
There's a lot of people in the public eye. If you look at the pictures of them,
They have their eyes like that a lot.
They always they're showing their sclera. And there's something about mental instability and volatility, and I'm not safe. I don't know what it is, and I've done a lot of research, but I almost always find that somebody who's committed a heinous crime and a really violent crime, they're almost always 20, 30% of their pictures that you can find up on the blind where they're holding that.
Really? That's interesting.
Things that bother you, they never bother me. I feel happy and fine.
I will be showing the video, but nonetheless, hi, my name is Ethan, and here's everything you need to know in under 1 minute. In September of 2017, 31-year-old Laura Wallen vanished into thin air. Her boyfriend Tyler Tessier had played the part of the worried boyfriend desperate for answers. However, he was living a double life. He had a fiance, and he feared that Laura would expose her pregnancy. The night of her unaliving, Laura texted her friend and stated, "Tyler has taken me to an open field in Damascus. I'm not sure why we're here, but it's in the middle of nowhere." Her body was found a few days later. Sam and Colby eventually uploaded a video where they were in the same area at the same time, and they captured a woman begging for help. Here's the video.
What the? Did you get that? Yeah, I got that. Somebody is screaming. Someone's screaming bloody murder. Whoa. Guys, what the? Do you hear that? Yeah.
What do you guys think? 2 words, buckle up. 29-year-old Christine Chubbuck did something on live television that traumatized an entire community. Hi, my name is Ethan, and here's everything you need to know in under 1 minute. Christine was hired at a news station called WXLT-TX, and she was later given her own show called Suncoast Digest, where she talked about recent crimes. A little bit about her: she was severely depressed and tried to unalive herself in 1970, but failed. She even made several comments on air about taking her own life, and her news partner just awkwardly moved on. On the morning of July 15th, 1974, she confused her coworkers by saying that she had to open up for Suncoast Digest, which she normally did not do.
Immediate and complete reports of local blood and guts news. TV40 presents what is believed to be a television first. In living color, exclusive coverage of an attempted suicide.
She then drew a weapon, unalived herself, and the broadcast rapidly went black.
On November 3rd, 2018, Tamla Horsford, a 40-year-old mother of 5, was having a slumber party with her group of friends who called themselves Football Moms. The following morning, police found Tamla dead in the backyard, covered in multiple bruises. Police ruled the death as an accident, stating that she'd most likely fallen off the porch while intoxicated. However, Tamla's family was unsure, so they had a second autopsy done which showed that she had several cuts to her arms and legs as well. This finding, along with strange differences in the witness testimonies and a confusing log of the back door of the house opening and closing repeatedly, led the family to believe that their mother's death was not an accident, it was homicide. Because of the movement protesting the murder of George Floyd, the case was reopened, but still, it was ruled an accident.
I shot and killed my husband after I found out what he was doing to little kids at the daycare I worked at. My name is Shanteri Weems, and this is my story. Me and my husband owned a daycare called Kids Castle Child Development Center. I loved nothing more than helping out the kids and seeing them grow up. It was my absolute dream to own this daycare until one day in July of 2022. A mother of one of the children in the daycare approached me and told me that me husband was doing inappropriate acts with her daughter. Without hesitation, I got in my car, drove to the hotel my husband James was at, walked in the room and shot him point blank in the neck and thigh. I wanted my daycare to be a place where kids could feel like they were safe, so I was going to do everything in my ability to keep them safe. My initial intention was just to paralyze him because I was so mad how he could do that to such innocent young children. I was arrested and sentenced to 4 years in prison for my acts. James would survive the wounds, but he was charged with over 30 criminal charges for what he had done. Follow for more stories.
Hi, I'm Lexi. In 2015, I was the victim of an attack by my friends in which I almost died. A lot of people have a lot of questions about that attack, as I've been sharing my story on TikTok for the last couple months. And today I actually wanted to bring out my mother to help answer some of those questions, particularly questions about her. All right, Mom, so how did you find out what was happening and how did you feel when you found out what was happening?
I found out by a phone call that was kind of muffled and far away, and I could hear that you were trying to tell me something, but I more heard your friend telling me that everything was fine, but I knew everything wasn't fine because that's not a call I ever got from you. Or how I felt was panicked. I was on my way to someplace far away, and I immediately wanted to turn around and find you.
What did I say on that call?
You said something's wrong with me. I don't know what they did, and I immediately knew they did something to you. Okay. And I didn't know what it was or how bad it was, but I knew that something had happened.
And did I mention that there were like drugs or anything on that phone call?
Yes, you said that you think that they gave you something, and I knew a little bit about that girl, and I didn't trust her, and I knew immediately, something told me immediately that she had given you something or done something, and I started screaming. What did you give her? What happened? What? And then the call was disconnected.
Okay. So you next saw me again in the hospital. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
I luckily had a friend on the police department of the town, and she was able to get someone to you. I think someone called, and she was able to tell me where you were, and I had my parents first go because I was far away, like I said, for taking your younger sister to gymnastics competition. So Mimi and Papa went, and I rushed to get there as soon as I could, but they were with you at the beginning. And when I saw you, it was probably a half hour into you having been there. And Mimi, I always remember that Mimi said to me, I'm so glad that you didn't see her when she came in because it was really bad. And you had started to be a little bit more like...
it's about to cut out.
Like a little bit more coherent, a little bit by the time I got there.
Yeah. Okay, hold on.
I'm sorry, bud. Do you mind if I talk to her again? Okay, I'm gonna bring Kyle in here to with you, okay?
This is 16-year-old Kyle Hooper, Amber Wright's half-brother. He's just finished a grueling one-on-one interview with a detective and is clearly distressed.
Both your kids are in thing for murder.
Amber too?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Well, we told you it wasn't a storm. I mean, it was like everything was planned.
With Roach, everybody?
Everybody.
Admitting that everything was planned is extremely important because it proves mens rea, premeditated criminal intent. So not only has Kyle essentially admitted to murder on videotape, he's also admitted to a specific degree of murder, first-degree murder.
We're gone.
They took my phone.
Everything's gone. James is on it too.
On what? Is it on this?
Now Kyle has also unexpectedly implicated his stepfather, James Havens III, stating that he is in on it too. Kyle Hooper, much like his sister, has told detectives a bit of a story while his mother was present. However, they likely realize at this point that he is the weakest link, as he was the one who originally confessed to his mother. He certainly doesn't seem to want to tell the full story in front of her, so the detective pulls him out into a room alone, where he sits wiping ink from his hands from his fingerprinting. Little does he know, a confrontation is about to begin.
So, I'm sorry. What's wrong? I want to be perfectly honest with you, okay? This is how I work. I'm giving you an opportunity right now to lie to me. Okay? If you take that opportunity, okay, you're a fool. No, I'm not lying to you at all. Everything that comes out of your little mouth right now better be 110% the truth, okay? Alright, now let's start back at the beginning of this. And this is your one and only last chance to correct any discrepancies you may have of the story that you told me. Okay? Want to start fresh? Man, I'm scared. Kyle, I'm sure you are. Okay? No, I don't want to do it. I don't want to go through all this.